Hi, Tammy.
How's it going? Long time no see.
Oh, hold on, I can't hear you. One sec. Are you muted? Am I muted? What's going on? Hey, Terry.
Hi.
Oh, give me 1 sec. Okay.
Terry looks nice and tanned. Did you go away somewhere?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No,
I'm just trying to get my sound to kick in right now.
I think it's just the camera.
You guys
I
hear
need
me?
that. I need that.
Yeah,
lens.
I can see you.
What's happening? Oh, okay. I think I got you. Sorry, guys. I was just trying to get my microphone to kick in. How are you doing?
Good, yourself? Are you muted?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Beautiful.
Can you hear us?
I can now. Yeah, sorry, my settings were all out of whack on my laptop there. Yeah, thanks for joining us. We're gonna give everyone, we got a few minutes to go,
Yep.
but I see Terry. How you doing? You ready to go?
Did you get my text that I have a PowerPoint ready? But you have to let me screen share.
Yeah, let me set that up. You should be able to do it now.
Okay.
So yeah, just go right ahead and see if you can share your screen. We've got quite a few people set up to join us, so we're gonna give a little few minutes after 1 to let everybody get into
Yeah,
the
that's
room.
fine.
Yeah.
Is that good? Can you see me?
I can see you. I can't see your hey AJ, I can't see your presentation right now.
No?
No. So if you go to the bottom of your screen, where it says share screen, and just click on that. Oh, I just shared mine. So if you click on share screen, you should get the option to share your desktop or just share your presentation.
Okay, hold on. I got it, I think.
There we go. You got it. Beautiful. And then if you just hit the play button, it'll take you out of the slides and you can just click through, or you can just scroll through the slides.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find where that play button is. Oh, here, I got it.
Yeah.
See, I'm all about leverage. I don't usually do this.
I love it. Well, thank you for doing this for us. We appreciate it.
Okay, can you see that now?
Yep, that's beautiful. Perfect.
Can you see me?
Yeah, you're on the side. Let me see if I can
can't see you.
I put a spotlight on you. But let me see if I remove it.
Should I be able to see you?
As long as you can hear me, because you're sharing.
Okay, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm on there, but as people join, I might get pushed down from your screen. You can pin me, I believe, if you want, to your screen. So if you click on the 3 little blue dots on my square, if you can find me and click pin, you'll be able to pin me. And I'm going to put a spotlight on you, which means everyone's going to be able to see you. Okay.
Did I do something? Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you.
Can you still see the presentation?
Yep. Yeah, it's just going back to the PowerPoint. It's not the actual slideshow, but if you click on that little play button at the top again, it'll resume it for you. But yeah, we can see you and hear you. You're just on the side of our screen.
Okay.
Perfect.
I can't see you, but I don't know why.
Let me see if I pin myself. everyone will just see me, which we don't want. I want them to see you. As long as you can hear me, Terry.
Yeah, I can hear you, so that's fine.
Yeah, perfect. So how's while we have you and we're waiting for everyone to come in, you're obviously in a different market than most of us. What are you guys seeing up there right now? What's it looking like for you? How many listings are you currently carrying?
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
We have so much inventory and it's so much is sitting. I mean, we're getting, I have lots of waterfront even for sale, really good prices. So we're going to change some of our marketing strategy. And we're going to create some funnels, some marketing funnels. I'm going to create one to promote that we have affordable inventory here, because I understand in the city, there's no inventory. So we want to pull those buyers up here. So
Yeah.
typically we are a reflection of the Toronto market, but by about 4 months. So we'll probably have a very busy fall.
Yeah. Sounds
So
like
we're
it.
preparing for that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Dylan was showing me yesterday, there's a cool thing on Realm. So we might have to try and find this for you, Terry, but for your listings, you can go to the stats and it will show you where not only where the leads are coming from, like where they're clicking on your actual active listings, but also their location. So we pulled a listing that was on Treb as well as up in Georgian Bay area. And we could see that a lot of the people clicking on the listing were in Collingwood and Wasaga. And so I was thinking, like, what interesting to have that as part of your presentation, to be able to say, like,
How do I, like, we're not members of Treb, so
Treb,
we
yeah.
don't have access to that, correct?
But Gary posts your listings on Treb, right? For you guys? You guys
Yeah,
work
we
that together?
set up, we do have that ability. So what we did was we set up our admin as an assistant to Gary, so she can post listings on Treb. But as an assistant, would she have the ability to access that?
Yeah, because she has access to his account, she'd have access to Realm, so she would be able to, and Gary can show her where they are real quick.
Okay.
She'd be able to pull that information and those stats. So on all of your listings, you could be tracking that and even giving your clients that update to say, hey, this is where people are looking from. We're going to run some ads in that area. I'm going to reach out to agents in that area and send some marketing pieces or whatever it is you want to do, but you're targeting the area the buyers are coming from, right? So
yeah, that is valuable information. And I definitely, if you have access to that,
yeah,
I definitely would be putting that in your listing.
yeah, absolutely.
Because other realtors probably won't bother to look at it or pull it or learn how to do it.
Correct. Yeah. And it's through Realm. So it's on the old system. You used to just be able to see like the realtor.ca stats. Now you can see all of the clicks. So you can see how many people are clicking on it through Toronto MLS, like through emails being sent out or prospect searches, or through realtor.ca, or through your own website or other companies' websites. So you could even show, if you had a really great website, you could show that you were driving traffic to that listing and use it as part of your marketing as well, right? So it's a cool feature that, I have to give Dylan credit because he just showed it to me yesterday. But
Awesome.
yeah, it's apparently a Realm thing. And he just met, you can access it through List Track on the homepage. So for those of you that have access, go to List Track and then you'll be able to see the stats there. And then Terry, just talk to your admin and she, through Gary's account, she should be able to pull all of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. We just got some more people rolling into the waiting room. So we're just gonna admit a few more minutes. And yeah, so Dylan was saying it's actually all credit to Gary. He made a video about it, so go check it out. So if you search Gary's stuff, Realty Chatter is his URL. There'll be a video there showing you how to do it. So shout out to Gary for that one.
Thank you, Gary.
So Terry, before we get started and as people come in, I would love to start with just, I know most people know you. We do have some people outside of our brokerage also on this call. So
That's great.
yeah, what I would love to start with is, a little bit about who you are and your team and kind of where you're at, in your business and how many agents you have and what you're kind of running with at the moment.
Oh, okay. Well, that's actually on slides 3 and 4 and 5, but
I'm jumping ahead. All right, we'll wait for
that's
the
okay.
slides. Yeah, we'll just give it
So-
another minute or two and
Yeah,
then
well,
we'll get
I'll just
started.
talk about our area because, we're so very appreciative. A lot more realtors in our own brokerage have been sending us referrals, and we're very appreciative. And because, we've worked really hard to earn a high standing across Canada, we are getting out of province referrals too. So that is such a huge benefit. And
Amazing.
we cover what is called Grey and Bruce counties. And so Grey County is more of a residential and recreation area, and with a working class. Bruce County is more of a retirement recreation area, but we have in there Saugeen Shores, and Saugeen Shores is pretty much in their own little real estate bubble because they have the Bruce Nuclear Power Plant there. And so we have an office in Port Elgin, an office in Tobermory, an office in Owen Sound, and an office in Wyerton. So geographically, we cover a large geographical area. However, the population of all of that wouldn't be more than probably 60,000.
Wow.
So we all put a lot of kilometers on our cars.
I love it. It's like cottage country up here. You gotta hit all the lake areas, right? You gotta make
yes.
all the points. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
So
We have it a little more convenient down here. We go kind of more neighborhood to neighborhood, but I don't think we're doing the kilometers you guys do.
Right. No. So like Owen Sound, there are neighborhoods like what you would be used to in a more populated area, but the population there is still only 20,000. Population of Wyerton and Tobermory together wouldn't be 8,000. And then we've got Saugeen Shores, probably maybe 18, and it's the most moving market right now.
Right. And
Yeah.
just to give us context, knowing the demographics, how many deals is your team doing a year, roughly?
So we average, like, I would say for the last 4 years, 350 to 500 ends.
Wow. Okay. So significant amount of volume for the population that you got. And is a portion of that because people are coming from out of town and buying out of town as well? And is it a lot of local movement?
No, majority of our business, like it's such a high percentage, I would say 85% are from buyers moving to our area. And then the remaining 15-20% is people moving from here back to the city. So we have a real strong, usually a 15-year cycle. People retire here, and then 10, 15, maybe 20 years later, maybe they've lost a spouse, or the kids are older and the grandkids are older. They got their own lives. They don't come up anymore. The property's too much to handle, and or health reasons. So they sell and go back to closer to their families.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
Got
the
it.
big cycle.
The big cycle. Yeah. It's funny. Every area has its own natural cycle, right? Its own natural flow. And you got to tap into that a little bit. But that's a huge amount of transactions every year. And how many agents are currently on your team?
We have 10 full-time realtors. We have a full-time admin. We have a full-time marketing, social media, graphic designer. We have a full-time photographer. And I make my husband help now whenever I tell him to.
And your husband's also a photographer, right?
Yes. So he was working with us full time. Now he's stepped back to slow down. And so he will help out if need be.
Awesome. I love it. And then your daughter and son-in-law work with you also. They're helping run the team at this point, right? So you got a family.
That's right.
A family
That's
affair
right.
going on. Yeah, I love it.
They are now co-owners.
Good for them. That's amazing.
Yeah, so they're being groomed into full ownership once I get paid.
Yeah, they're learning once I get paid. They're learning the ropes, as to say, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, we are gonna get started because I know it's a good bit after 1 and we want to make sure we have enough time to get through this whole presentation and
I
chatted
can't
a
hear-
little.
Okay, I can hear you now.
You can hear me now? Okay.
Yeah.
I know we talked a little bit yesterday and I was sharing with you, it can be hard to get agents, especially top producing agents, to share their presentations and their listings specifically. So really grateful for you for being willing to be so open and in culture and show what you're doing and how you're doing it and let us learn from you, because you're at 350 listings. You know, you guys are clearly doing something right. So I appreciate your time and the value that you're going to bring to us today.
No problem. I am happy to share. So I also want to preface a couple of things.
Mhm.
So, when you're going to meet a client to list a property, it's never the same. So, I mean, I can give you my listing presentation, but please understand, sometimes I use it all and then more, depending on the personality and how detailed of a personality they might be. Or sometimes I just use pieces of it because I've satisfied their need to show the value in hiring me. And so I've tried to just put together a lot of what I do use, but I don't use it all the time. And so it's just because situations are different.
Yeah, of course. And you're reading the person too, personality and disc
Yes.
profile and all of that.
Yes.
And so to give some context to, we know, some of us know that there's either your 1-step approach or there's your 2-step approach, right? When it comes to doing a listing presentation. The 2-step approach is generally more on the relationship side, when you're building a bit more rapport or when you don't have enough data or you need to see the property before you can execute your market analysis. And then the 1-step is when you're going in with the intention of going through your presentation and getting that contract signed at that first meeting. So do you traditionally do a 1-step, a 2-step? Do you fluctuate? What does that look like for you?
Again, every situation is different. So I have kind of put together how to determine, because there's no right or wrong presentation. It's really what is relative to the situation and the client's goals.
Mhm.
And so sometimes I go into a property and I always start by, show me around. And then if I'm wandering around and looking at everything and I'm thinking, oh my word, it's way more than I brought all the wrong comparables. So I straight away already know I'm going to have to do a 2-step process.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you're going to gauge it on this situation and maybe even make a game time decision and pivot if you need to, because
Yes.
you know that you're not prepared, essentially.
Well, in our area, especially when we have really big waterfronts and there's really some unique pieces to it and things like that, where I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I need time. So if I need to buy time, it's an automatic, I'm coming back. And so I always preface that and how to make sure that they're understanding I'm just doing a complete analysis and I'm doing my job. And you have to compare apples to apples and all of that good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I love it. So here's
Yeah.
the setup for today's presentation, just for everyone who's on the call. I am going to be the seller that Terri is coming to meet. And Terri is going to be meeting with me to talk about helping me downsize my home. I have been in the home for about 20 years. My children have now moved out and the house is too big. I want to downsize it and we want to buy a waterfront property. That's the conversation Terri and I have had coming into this. And we've set up a time to meet and we're essentially starting with that initial meeting. And so Terri, to start us off, knowing the context of our conversation and what we're looking for, are you approaching this as a 1-step or a 2-step conversation?
I will get to that.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to throw it over
So-
to you and let's go.
Okay, so Jen, I want to preface again that, so I always show up to a property and I ask to look around the outside and the inside, absolutely everything. And as I'm going around the outside. I explained to them, I'm going to be taking notes and I'm going to be asking you a lot of mechanical questions, etc. And so we look around the outside, we go inside room by room. I make notes, absolutely detailed notes about everything. You know, is there a closet in the room? What kind of carpet? How many windows? And what's the lighting like? You know, everything that I can write down. And the clients always appreciate that. So I always get detailed on the property. And then I ask to go in and I ask to sit at the kitchen table usually, or the dining room table, where we can have a conversation.
Yep.
And during that time, I'm trying to analyze, as I'm walking around the house and talking to them, I'm trying to analyze what kind of personality profile they are. And so when we sit down, I would start out by saying, Jen, Bill, your property is stunning, simply amazing. Thank you so much for inviting me in for you to show me your property and for the opportunity to list it. It is important for me to understand how you came about calling me. So they would say, well, I seen an ad, or someone so told me to call you. Okay, that's great. So tell me a little bit about yourselves. I understand that you want to look to sell, to buy a waterfront property and somewhat downsize. So tell me, what does that look like for you?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for asking. I love that. What we're looking for right now, we've got 4 bedrooms and we just don't need them anymore. You know, the kids are at school and they're coming home less. And we want a little bit more land and a little bit less house. So ideally we want to be waterfront, but in an area that's close to a town or restaurants and things to do, or not tied to that location necessarily. But obviously we want to put money in the bank from our sale. And so that's important to us.
Excellent. So you'd like a little bit of extra money in the bank. Now, what about, tell me about what your plan is for the future. Do you think maybe you'll travel a little bit,
Yeah, my husband and I love to travel. We did it a lot before we had kids, and now that they're grown, we'd like to get back to doing that. So we do want to travel, for a portion of the year, preferably during the colder months. We're also looking at buying investment property. We're not sure where yet, maybe Hawaii, maybe Arizona, but somewhere warm where we can go and spend time away from home and get a break from things. The kids can come and visit. But that's probably a year or 2 down the road. Right now, we just want to get away from the amount of work at the house and be able to shut it down and take off when we want and have it be convenient to do that.
Excellent. So Jen, where are your kids local? Are they close by?
No, they're not actually. They are both, our son is in Toronto and our daughter is out in Vancouver.
Okay. So it's to downsize to waterfront and have them come and visit. That would be pretty exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
So in your perfect world, what would your waterfront property look like that you would like to downsize to?
Oh, I think the house would be kind of quaint and cottagey feeling. I don't really want to see my neighbors if I can. I want a little bit more privacy, a nice deck overlooking the water that you can sit out at and barbecue at, and a nice fire pit of some sort. And, easy access into the water, maybe a sandy entry point in case there's grandkids or something down the road.
Excellent. Jen, I sell a lot of waterfront property, and actually that's one of my specialties that I specialize in. So I can tell you all about the Lake Huron side, Georgian Bay. Do you have a preference?
I don't know much about the Lake Huron side. We've always had more of a preference to the Georgian Bay side of things.
Okay, excellent. So the Georgian Bay side is great for boating, fishing. It's a little cooler for swimming. You get the sunrises on Georgian Bay side. The Lake Huron side is warmer. It's got some sandy beaches. It's beautiful sunsets. So we're very blessed that you have the option. And keep in mind, when we find you that perfect Georgian Bay waterfront downsized home, you can
Mhm.
always, a simple 15-minute drive over to Lake Huron when your children or grandchildren start to come home to visit.
Mhm.
How does that sound?
You know, it sounds pretty good, but when you say sandy beaches and sunsets, you make me, it makes me want to maybe look at the Lake Huron side. So could we look at both? Is that an option?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We have lots of options on both sides. Okay, so I know what kind of why you're selling and what your goal is. And I'd like to now, Jen, take a minute to talk about your timeline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we haven't done this in a long time. Like I said, we've been in this house about 20 years now. So I don't know that we want to rush into it. You know, a little nervous of the process and want to understand the costs and what it's going to look like. But that being said, you find us the perfect home and we fall in love, we'd be ready to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can help with that. No worries. So the reason I'm trying to get an idea of your goal for your when would you like to see yourself in your perfect waterfront home? Is it going to be this year or next year?
Mm-hmm. I think this year, at this point, we've made the decision to talk to realtors and have a conversation and look at that process. So I think we're ready to commit to making the move if we find the right property. I don't want to move over winter. So ideally, if we don't find something and move into it by the fall, October, maybe November, but I think October would be our cutoff point. We're probably going to go to the warm weather for a few months and then would start up again in the spring next year.
Okay, this is a great start to a good plan. So timing is obviously critical when you're making the decision to move forward, to list, to sell. And so that's why I always, I need to ascertain that so that I can know how I'm going to present a marketing strategy to get you the most amount of money so that you can move on to get that beautiful waterfront home.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a presentation that I'd like to present to you. Because you need all of the information. And I just caught that you mentioned that you were talking to realtors, plural. So may I ask, are you interviewing other realtors?
Yeah, we have two other realtors that we're also speaking to. One is a family friend of ours, and the other one does a lot of business in our neighborhood. So we thought it would be good to speak to them as well.
Okay, great. And absolutely, you should always get different opinions and see different strategies, etc. So may I ask, have you already met with the other two realtors?
We did meet briefly with the family member, just to kind of see what they had to offer, but they haven't been in the business that long. I'm not sure that. And we have not yet met with the local realtor, but we are planning to.
Okay, may I ask when you are meeting with the third realtor?
What day is it today? Today is Wednesday, I believe Friday morning.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So Jen, I'm going to stop us right there. So at this point now, I know I'm not the last realtor in on presentations. I really try to ascertain this in advance if I can, because I always want to be the last realtor in.
Right.
Now, gauging how I feel things are moving along already, I might just say, I stop the presentation right then and say, okay, this is all great to know. I will now go back, do a complete analysis of and analyze the comparables of the property, and let's meet Friday afternoon after you meet with the third realtor.
Right. Okay. Is there a reason that you can't just give us the information now?
A great question, Jen. I would not be doing my job if I just spit out a number just to make you happy. You deserve a complete analysis. I need to go back and look at all of the analysis that I'm comparing apples to apples, property to property, square footage to square footage. That all needs to be analyzed. And I didn't know anything about your home prior to coming until I seen everything. I've got all my detailed notes. I
Mhm.
must do a proper analysis for me to come up with the proper value for your home. You don't want to just take any realtor who's going to just go, oh, I think it's worth this. Well, I don't run my business that way. I want to make absolute for certain that I know that I'm confident in the
Mhm.
number, the value that I'm giving you. So would Friday at 2:00 work for us to meet again?
We'll be done with the other realtor around 11:30. So that gives us time to, have lunch and discuss things. And you're going to bring your analysis with you so we can see what you looked at.
Absolutely.
To know at this point,
Pardon?
is there anything else you need to know at this point from us?
Do you have a survey of the property?
I think we do, but I have to look for it. But
Yeah, you could email that to me.
okay, all right, perfect. And your email's on your card here? Yeah, I see it.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Okay, great. So I look forward to meeting you Friday at 2:00. I will bring all of my analysis and we'll have a consultation and discuss it all.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Terry. I appreciate that.
Okay, so now it's Friday at 2:00. I know the other realtors have been there.
Hmm.
And now sometimes they might get irritated because, going through 3 realtors and going through all the same information, listening to 3 different spiels is a lot for a seller,
Right. Yeah.
right? So, okay, so it's Friday at 2:00, I've showed back up. And so now I'm going to sit down with them and say, Jen, thank you so much for meeting me again. I'm very excited to give you my presentation and look at the comparables with you together. So before we do that, I just want to ask you, how are you feeling about the other 2 realtors and their values that they've given you?
Yeah. Our family member, to be honest, we just did that more out of obligation. I don't think we were ever really too set on that. And the Sally realtor who came in this morning, she was fantastic and she knows the neighborhood really well. We did like really enjoy her, but we also want to hear what you have to say because we've liked everything we've heard from you so far.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm just gonna move along to explain what's called the home selling process.
Okay.
There we go. So it's quite a process. And so when you're hiring a realtor, you're looking for a realtor who, basically works full time, treats it as a business, knows how to run a business, etc. Because it's, you're hiring a realtor to protect your asset. You're probably one of your largest assets in most of the situations. So we meet obviously to help you evaluate your needs. We meet again to set the right price, determine your timeline, your goals. We enter into the listing agreement, and then we start to implement staging, preparing your home for sale, custom photos, drone, videography, all of that good stuff. We do a complete production on your home.
Mhm.
Does that sound something that you're ready to do right now?
Yeah, I mean, as long as there's a checklist or something to follow, we know we got a little bit of work to do to take this, from that family home to the ready to sell home. So we're willing to do that.
Okay, great. So I'm going to cut in here, Jen. That
Mhm.
was me prefacing them to see if they're ready to list right now. So, okay, Jen, well, that's great. So once you're listed, then we move into showing the property. We have very strong showing system that we elicit feedback from all the realtors after the showing. We'll share that with you. And then it's time for when you see an offer. And notice, Jen, I never use the word if. I always say when you receive an offer. So when you receive an offer, we start to negotiate. And Jen, I'm going to explain to you a little bit later and show you in the process. That's where I shine. I am an expert negotiator. I have 25 years experience in negotiating, but I'll get more to that in a little bit. So once you have an accepted offer, we help you prepare the home for the inspections and what to expect. We're going to walk you through each step. Then we're going to prepare all the documents and send them to your lawyer for you. Then you'll meet with your lawyer. You'll sign the documents and the money will be deposited into your bank account. That's pretty exciting.
No, I
Right?
like that last part for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Money in the bank.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to explain what I'm going to talk about briefly. So I'm going to
Okay.
talk about our brokerage. I'm going to talk about our team and myself and my experience. And then we're going to talk about the market. How's the market? You know, everybody else always asking, how is the market? And then we're going to we're going to discuss and review the comparables. And I'm going to show you how we market our properties and how we get them sold. And we're going to show you a little bit of our success and the reason why I show you that. Sounds good?
That sounds great. Yeah.
Excellent. So I want to start off by explaining Keller Williams Realty Center's brokerage. So we are part of the Keller Williams brokerage. We have a wide area that we cover. And the reason I talk about our brokerage is because it's important to understand what the brokerages A, offer their agents, and B, what does that mean for a seller? So for example, our brokerage, we have a dedicated broker of record, and his job is to overlook all the realtors are adhering to a strict code of ethics of RICO. And as importantly, he is there to help oversee deals and to mitigate liability. We learn from him. And it's kind of like for you, the seller, having a real estate lawyer in your back pocket as we go along the transaction. And that costs money, not too many other brokerages, if any, have a dedicated person on salary just for that. Do you see the value in that, Jen?
I do. I am surprised that other brokerages don't have it actually, because who helps you when there's an issue?
That's right. So not only that, and I'll get to it in a bit. So we also have created, or our broker of record has created what's called a Schedule B that goes with every offer. And he came up with this, and it was created with our broker of record and our legal division to ensure that it's protecting you in the offer. And I'll give you an example. If we have waterfront clients, you know, the water line can fluctuate. So we make that very clear to a potential buyer that it goes up and down. And if it's not the same on the day of closing as to when you looked at it, you can't try and sue the seller, because we know, Jen, in today's world, people try to sue people for silly things like that. So
Right.
This is one way our brokerage helps to protect our sellers. And honestly, it is invaluable. Next, our brokerage, we have call coordinators and a call center. Our call coordinators are very talented. They're extreme multitaskers successfully. They're the ones who you're going to hear from, who will start or book all the showing appointments. They will book any inspections. And when they're not in the office and we're on the road showing property, then it goes to a call center. So this is important and valuable to you, the seller, Jen, so that you know any calls coming in about your property are not going to be missed. Do the other two realtors that you've met, can they offer that?
You know what? I have no idea. We didn't even talk about this.
Okay, well, anytime, Jen, that you're seeing already the value to hire me to list your property, you can just go ahead and stop me.
Well, we'll keep going for now, but I appreciate
great.
that. Yeah.
So you see, I'm going to interrupt there. As kind of silly as jokingly that sounds, that was my first soft close.
Yeah. And it was endearing. It was nice. Yeah. Yeah.
So, Jen, we also have many locations, not just in Grey Bruce, but we, Newmarket, etc., Aurora, and they're strategically placed to serve our clients so that we cover all of the major areas where we know our buyers are going to be coming from. We have Keller Williams International, and believe it or not, Keller Williams is the world's largest real estate company by agent count. It's just most people don't understand that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm very proud to be part of Keller Williams.
Yeah.
And not only that, Keller Williams, our brokerage, we are a member of the Toronto Real Estate Board, and we are a top producing brokerage. So a lot of the times in a lot of the categories every month, we're either number 1 or number 2, market share, units sold, etc. And I'm going to get into why that's important for you, the seller. Sounds good?
Sounds great. Yeah.
Awesome. So I'll give you a little bit about me. Jen, I have 17 years experience. I'm also an investor, author. I do some guest speaking from time to time. I have appeared on a guest TV show, and I have done some presentations before. I am the group leader for the Terri Hastings Real Estate Group. We are an award-winning real estate group, and I was an individual award winner before recruiting and growing a team. I have had 25 years experience across several different industries, from manager to district manager in different geographical locations. So the reason I bring all this up is not to go, oh, look at me, is to show you that experience is worth a lot. When you go to the doctor, general practitioner, and they prescribe something and it doesn't work, it's not helping, then they send you to the specialist. And why? Why is a specialist a specialist? Because they have experience. So that's why I can say I am a specialist, because I have enough experience in a lot of different transactions. So I settled into real estate at a very young age because I always had this passion. I bought my first house when I was 18 years old, even before I could afford a car, and I was in college at the time. And I can remember it just didn't make sense to pay rent when I was going to college. So I took the money that I got for college and I bought a house, and I had to work full-time at Max Milk to pay for the house or to pay for school.
Right.
True story. So
Oh my goodness.
from there, I just, I always had a dream to earn income and flip houses. So we did that. I did that for a while, and I'm also an investor. And then I realized I wanted to be on the pulse of the market every hour of every day, so I could get all the information. And then I realized that this is my passion.
Yeah.
So that's just a little bit about me.
Yeah. You sound very, very busy. So how does that work between the team and all of the ownership stuff and the other things you're doing and your own personal investing? Like, will you be the one helping me through this entire transaction? Will your team get involved? What's that going to look like?
Great question, Jen. So yes, I am busy. And the most successful people and the ones who sell the most amount of properties are the busiest ones. So not to worry, I have leverage. We have team, we have buyer specialists, we have listing specialists. However, you called me today, you get me.
Okay.
Right.
Good.
When you went to the specialist, he is a team behind them, filing the files, answering the phones, things like that. That's what I have. But the team is beside me. So if I'm not available to come and show your property, they're available to come and show the property. So again, no opportunity will be missed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. As long as we get to see you from time to time, we're good.
Yes. And I'm getting to that. So before I can show you everything we can do for you and will do for you, I really need to know, what are your expectations of me being your realtor?
Yeah, so we try not to be too picky. The main things we have for expectations is clear communication and clear guidance. So if something, we need to do something, guidance around what that looks like, or a timeline or a deadline, so we understand what that is. And we just need to know, who is it who's taking care of what. So you said you have your team. Who do I reach out to if I have a question, for paperwork, or for the lawyers, or, about my home inspection? Is that you? How does that
That's
work?
great.
So a
Excellent.
little bit of structure. Yeah.
So those are all really good questions. And once we sign the listing paperwork, here's the next steps. We have a checklist of the next steps. I introduce you to the team and explain to you what each person does. We have Candace, she's our administrative girl. She handles all of the paperwork. So once we sign your listing up, it goes to Candace. She sends it, prepares it all to go into the file. And then in the file, we have checklists. We provide you a checklist of how to prepare your house. Then we get together a staging consult with the staging company. So we are going to give you a step-by-step checklist of everything at each point that you're going to need it. So I think we have, do you have any other expectations of me?
I'm assuming you're gonna get to the commission part, the numbers, so we'll talk about that when we get there. Obviously, we want to know what our costs look like, and we want to make sure that
Sure.
it makes sense for us and the math makes sense for us. And beyond that, we just expect you to represent us at the highest level, and it sounds like you've got a lot of experience. So I think that is probably going to be covered, but just making sure that, what we need is the focus, that our goal is what we're focused on, and not, if we don't find the right house, I don't want to be pressured into selling mine if I don't find the one I want to move to.
Right, understood.
Mhm.
So I just want to make it clear, Jen, you are in control. You are the boss. When we enter into our listing agreement, I am representing you. I must do as you instruct me to, but you don't get to yell at me. So I use that actually every listing appointment.
Yeah.
And they respect that when you say that. And it's true. I have fiduciary duty to you. So I just want to make it very clear you're in control and of your decisions. I will guide you, counsel you. However, your decision, the ultimate end decision is always is up to you. I will explain your options. I will explain some scenarios. And a lot of the time, a seller will say to me, Terri, what do you think? I mean, I'll tell you exactly what I think. There won't be fluff around it. And then I'll give you all the information for you to base your decisions upon. Does that
Okay.
make you feel comfortable?
Yeah, that sounds great. I wasn't sure how that worked, and I just didn't want to be put in a position where we weren't comfortable. And if we decide, at some point that things aren't working, or it's not going well, or we change our mind, what does that look like?
So so I just want to clarify, are you asking me if you don't like what I'm doing, can you fire me?
I mean, I wouldn't have worded it that way, but yeah, I guess, yeah. So that's the question.
So if at any time, Jen, you're not happy with me, I don't want anyone out there upset with me because we would talk about a cancellation. I don't tie people if you're unhappy, but I've never had that happen in my whole 17 years. If I have a client who's being unrealistic and not, willing to cooperate, then yes, there are situations where we might have to call it a day.
Right.
And that's okay, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm going to show you how our level of service will make us accountable, make us and myself accountable to you.
Yeah, no, that's great. I don't have the intention to do that. I just wanted to know if for any reason that you hear these stories about people being stuck in contracts for 6 months, and I just don't want to be put in that position.
Great question. Okay, so now I want to just give you an overview of where our market is right now.
Okay.
And it's important for you to know this because it's, this information is where we need to know to understand how to position your property, to list it, to sell it, to get the most amount of money and sell it in the least amount of time, which is what most sellers want. And I'm sure you're no different, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal if we can, right?
Absolutely. Okay, so everybody asks, how's the market? So in South Bruce Peninsula, where we are right now, we're sitting at about 4.5 months of inventory. So that means at the current rate of sales, this is how long it could take you to even see an offer. So, and given together with your goal that you'd like to see a sale to be able to move into your waterfront property before winter, basically. Being that we're into May, that this is doable, but we're going to have a strong marketing plan, and it's going to need to be priced right. Do you see that?
Yeah, I do understand that. And, we've been here a long time. We know we're going to do well on this home. So as long as we get a price that works for us, we're happy with that.
Perfect. So, active listings are up 78% over this time over last year. And unfortunately, average home values have dropped by 32%. But Jen, don't get all upset and worried about that. It's because, you know, the COVID market pushed values up, and even though it's down 32%, we're still on a natural increase projection.
Okay.
So it just
Sorry, I'm just gonna jump in for a sec. Sorry to
Yeah.
cut you off. Are you clicking through the slides on your screen right now or no?
yes.
Okay, because we can't see it on our end.
Oh, so I'm on slide 6.
Okay, so we can just see the initial one. I think you've got to hit resume slideshow on your screen. Because you can, do you see where it says the red box? It says resume slideshow just to the right of slide 1.
Yeah, it says your screen sharing is paused, and I click the green button and it doesn't resume.
Okay, let me see.
Hold
what's
on, let me
going
see.
Yeah.
Can you see it now?
It's still just showing the main listing presentation screen, and our screen hasn't changed. So
Okay, hold
maybe, thank you, Dina and Matt, for pointing that out. I was wondering if she was going through it as well.
Yeah, just give me a second. Got my
Yeah.
leverage person here.
You got your leverage. I love it.
So it says my screen sharing is paused, and I click resume and it doesn't resume.
Okay, so what I would do is probably just at this point, might be bugging it, do the stop share and then just reshare and go back to where you want it to be.
So we do this?
Yeah. So you're gonna do your share screen.
Where?
Here, click in the window there.
Oh.
Share.
This one?
Yeah. Or whatever one you're using. Looks like you have a couple open.
Can you see it?
Yeah, now we can see it. It's on slide 1 right now. There we go. All right, we're back. Perfect.
Sorry, hold on. Okay, here's where we're at.
All right. Yes, perfect. Sorry to interrupt you there, Terry. I
No,
know
but I'm
were
glad
just
you did.
going into a flow. Yeah.
Thank you.
Everybody's good now. Dina can see it. Carlos can see it. So it looks like we're up and running.
Here, I'll go back and give you a quick one. The home selling process. You'll all get a copy if you want.
Yeah.
This is a critical one to set up your presentation and how you'll talk through it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Jen, so now I give you a clear idea of where the market is here. So basically what I'm saying is it might take some time. It could take 4 to 5 months for you to sell your home.
Right.
And so I think that's right on par with your goal of wanting to move by the winter. So this is a great discovery.
Mm-hmm. Is it possible that it would happen faster?
Absolutely. And again, that's like some properties sell quicker, some, take longer. And we're going to go over that for sure. How to position your property so it sells over the ones that are sitting.
Okay. And what happens if we sell really fast, hypothetical, and we haven't found a home to that we want to buy? Or how would the closings work? What was that? What does that look like?
So if you see a quick sale, this is why we need to have a plan in place. We start looking for your next property. And so there's 2 different options. When you find the perfect waterfront property, we'll show you both Lake Huron, Georgian Bay and Lake Huron. And then we can enter into an offer conditional on the sale of your property. I will be able to state a strong position for you that you're priced right to sell quickly and in the right amount of time to secure the other property. That's not the best case scenario to be in a negotiating position. So the best position to be in is to have a plan of where you're going to go to, even if you don't find that house. So we sell your house now, and you have a backup plan in place to either rent or stay with family until you find that perfect property. Have you thought about that or discussed it?
No, not at this point. We'll talk about it afterwards. I don't think we fully understand how that would work, that timeline, right? How would you line all the dates up and everything?
So once you have your new home, we can line the closing date up of your new home with the sale of your home, or there's options for you to look at bridge financing. So, there is a little bit of risk that if you sell your home now and haven't found your next home, then you'll have a gap in between. Is
Right.
there someone that you could stay with? It's not ideal, and I'm not saying that's going to happen, but we have to look at all different options for you.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, if that was to happen, we would probably just put stuff in storage and go travel for a little bit if
Oh,
that was the
exciting.
case. So yeah, if we have to, I guess. Otherwise, yeah, we could stay with family. It wouldn't be local, but we have family we could stay with.
Okay, that sounds great. Like, again, not saying it's going to happen. That's a
Mhm.
worst case scenario.
Okay.
But all great concerns for sure.
Okay. Sounds good. I think those are the only questions I have around that, I think.
Right. So I want to just review with you, how do buyers find their homes that they're purchasing? So a whopping 97% of buyers, Jen, obviously go to the internet first, the MLS, different websites, realtor websites. And then when they find the house, the home that they would like to look at or purchase, 88% use a realtor to purchase their home. So it's important for you, Jen, is to hire a realtor who has a strong referral network of realtors. And so I just want to show you here. So as you can see from our map, we have a strong network here of referring partners. We have very large brokerage. Actually, our brokerage is probably almost half the size of our real estate board in just our area. So they all know us, and here you see our owner operator, Colin Campbell. Gary McGowan is our director of business, and then myself and Adam are the co-owners, and here you see our lovely team members.
I got to stop you again, Terry. Sorry, the screen is not changing again.
Sorry.
So no, that's okay. We're still, there we go.
I
Perfect.
think it's okay. Anyway, I think I've figured that out, that technical glitch.
Okay.
So I show this, Jen, to you because it's important to have a strong network of referring realtors. And why? Because you could see from the previous 88% of home buyers use a realtor. A lot of our buyers come from outside of the area, so that's why we have a strong geographical referring network area. Does that make sense to you?
It does. Yeah,
Excellent.
absolutely.
Do you have any questions at this point?
The buyers don't have to come through Keller Williams, right? Like another agent from another brokerage could bring somebody, or is it just people you bring to the property?
No, any other brokerage is welcome to show your home. Your property will be on the MLS system where we want other realtors to come and show it. We welcome them. And, there's a good chance we might see an offer from another brokerage. And so that's fine.
Okay, perfect.
So again, we have a large referral partner database, not just realtors. For instance, we send a lot of business to RBC, TD, we have mortgage brokers, we have insurance companies. So we have a lot of trade partners as well, plumbers, contractors, electricians. We have a database of each section. And believe it or not, we even have big box referral partners, Home Depot, Lowe's, Home Hardware. They know us, they send us people. When people are going to build a new home and they have a house to sell, they know it, they give out our card, they refer people to us. So this is important, again, to have a very strong referral network. And we've worked hard to create that network. And so a lot of them actually are our clients already, and in turn, we give them business, they give us business. So it's a very important, and it really is, how they say it's all about who you know. And so we're very proud of our database of referral network. We have, we do a lot of community events as well. And the reason, Jen, I bring that up to you is because I think that, it's important for our clients to understand that we give back where we live. And this is just an example of some of the events that we do. And again, why do you care about this? Is because that we are a caring brokerage and a caring team. And not only that, every time we're out doing an event, we're seeing our referral partners again. We're reminding them, thank you again for that referral. Thanks for sending that buyer. We really appreciate it. And so this is another way for us to give back to them.
I love that. What's a crossword giveaway?
So every summer, so this started in COVID. And so everyone was sitting at home. And so we thought, well, we're going to put together a real estate crossword because people are sitting at home with nothing to do. And we're going to give away a patio set so they can enjoy a new patio set when they're sitting at home in the summer and we couldn't go anywhere. So we created a crossword. It's been such a huge success. We do it every year. We have people call us to send the crossword to them so that they can get in on it. And it's not easy. So one year I had to tell our assistant, you need to dumb that down a bit. I can't even finish it. So we like to have fun as well as give back.
That's amazing. You guys do a lot.
Yes, but we have fun doing it. Okay, so how do we market your home? This is probably one of the most important parts of our job, other than negotiating your offer. Would you agree? I
would agree. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
This is how we're going to get the most money, right?
That's right. So, so this is everything that we offer our clients. So we enter into the listing agreement, and then we book for the photographer to come after we book a staging consult. And then we go through all the checklists to determine when you're ready. It could be a week, it could be a couple of days. And so if you need one of our tradespeople to come and do something, we can help with that. So when you are listed, then obviously your listing goes on the MLS, it goes on our board, it goes on the Toronto Real Estate Board. And of course, we do all the professional photos, still photos, inside and out, videography, drone, and we have all professional cameras. We're licensed, insured for our drone, and certified. And so that is important too. Each of our clients, when you have showings, and we start to get feedback. So we're going to give you a weekly listing review, Jen, and we're going to show you what's the feedback. We're going to show you what properties, new listings have come up in your area, what has sold in your area. And so if we see, for example, if we see properties that have sold and not yours, and those buyers didn't even come and look at yours, well, now we need to get together and analyze why. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, I understand that.
That's right. So it's important to be on the pulse of the market every hour of every day, and that's my job. That's why you're hiring me. So you will get a weekly listing review. This says monthly, but we do it either weekly or monthly. And so it's going to show you, Jen, we're going to show you from there. We create print marketing, and then we do digital marketing, and we're going to show you everything that we're going to show you examples of the ads we're putting out, the exposure it's getting, and any leads that have come in off it, and how many showings we've booked from it. So that's where I'm going to show to you how accountable I am to you. And the results will show. And if there aren't results, then we need to adjust.
Right.
Sounds good?
Yeah, that makes sense. And when you say you're going to show it to us, are you emailing us? Are we meeting? How do we
Yes.
navigate that?
So the first, you'll get one for the first 2 weeks are the most critical. So you're going to get one weekly for the first 2 weeks. And then we see where the market's at. And then if you'll get it weekly, if we're getting nothing, then we're going to meet in person. So it'll be both email
Okay.
and in person, right?
Gotcha.
So if I need to show you, because I have a concern, like the market has shifted again in the last 4 weeks, going to need to lower the price. We're not, or, maybe we need to do a photo shoot on, right now we're doing some properties, we're reshooting them. And so sometimes that has to be done.
Mm.
And I also want to meet that if you have any concerns, why, if you're not getting showings, well, how come? I don't want you to sit there and think, oh, did she just disappear?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's important because also you mentioned that you wanted guidance and communication. And so
Mhm.
this is how we do it. Does that sound
Okay.
good to you?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Okay, so of course we do brochures, flyers, and postcards. And here is where I would show examples. I didn't put it all in here, but if anybody needs to see examples of our brochures, flyers, and postcards, we're happy to send you. And of course, now I really make it clear to sellers so that they understand, print is almost an antiquated way of marketing. Putting a print ad in a magazine is like a needle in a haystack. It's all digital.
Mhm.
Digital marketing is where you're going to get the most amount of exposure in the least amount of time and the most amount of buyer leads.
Right. Okay.
So I by now I've already talked about online and digital marketing. We create that and across all platforms, actually, including YouTube. And when I say that, people sometimes say, well, YouTube, and absolutely, we want your property on YouTube because YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world.
Mhm.
And it's utilizing technology. Jen, this day and age, technology is where it's at, right? Do you
Yeah,
agree?
I fully agree. Absolutely. Yeah.
And did
I mean,
you know that Keller Williams is the #1 technology company? As per, I can't remember who named it that, who named it, but I would throw that in there too.
Yeah. I think it was either Forbes or one of those guys.
Yeah, Forbes or, yeah. So if you use it though, make sure you qualify it.
Yeah, qualify first. I couldn't tell you it was either. But from a by agent or a buyer seller point of view, no, I didn't know that. And how are you guys technology if you're realtors? How does that work?
So we have with Keller Williams what is called Command, and it's proprietary to Keller Williams. And it controls all of our digital marketing platforms. We create landing pages, and it pushes it out and gives us bigger exposure. It handles all of our transactions. It's where we keep track of all of our clients. And we, when you go to the doctor and they make notes in the file, well, that's what we do. We make notes and it goes into the file cabinet of Command.
Gotcha.
And so other realtors pay a lot of money. And that is one of the benefits of being with Keller Williams and such a strong technological brokerage that we have available to us.
Right. Okay. Sounds good. So that gives you more money to put into marketing my listing.
That's right. I'm getting to that.
Yeah.
So of course, we also put your home digitally on top search sites like realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, terrihastings.ca, etc. And then I would talk about our website and the exposure that we get, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So here is where, we provide, Jen, I'm going to restate that I'm going to provide you a comprehensive list review weekly so you can see where and how we are marketing your property. You will get the results of our online marketing efforts and lead results. And here I would show them an example of our a strong Facebook ad that we've done for them, Instagram, YouTube, whatever we have done for them. since
Yeah.
the last time we talked, and the results, are they going up, they're going down, are we going flat, etc. So
Right.
our clients love this when they get it,
Yeah.
because they now get to see that we actually are doing something, even though, you haven't heard from me for a week or 2 weeks. We try not to let it go past that, but it really helps to keep them involved and understand where the market and what the market's doing too.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. I love that. I would love to get that actually.
I brought one down, didn't I, the last time?
Yeah, I think you did when you were down
Yeah.
in for the symposium.
Yeah, so I have that. It's just too long. I didn't bother inserting it, but if anybody wants a copy, we'll give you one of our ones that we do.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jen, basically what all this really means is we have the ability that more consumers are going to view your home. You're going to get more quality connections with prospective buyers. Would you agree that I've shown you that that's how we can do it through our digital marketing, et cetera?
Yeah, it seems to be the case for sure.
Excellent. So this means there's more exposure for you through our referral networks, and there's more innovation and more awareness for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. I love all you do online. That's important.
So Jen, I think it's important now that you want a realtor who is successful, not just in, what I'm telling you, but I can show you, talk the talk, but walk the walk.
Right.
So our average sale price to list price, so in our real estate board right now is 94%. So what that means is, if you list your house for $1 million, right now the real estate board sales are showing right now, buyers are negotiating to a sale price of $940,000. So
Okay.
it's important to not just talk your real estate lingo, but to explain it, because they might not understand it.
Right. Yeah.
So-
So what sale to list price? Like what is
That's
that?
right.
And what does it mean for them?
What
right?
is that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So just be nice, explain it, and don't ask them if they know, but just assume they don't. So I'm very, very happy to report, Jen, that my average sale price to list price ratio, I know there's a spelling mistake on that, but is 97%. So as you can, and our team is 98%. So as you can see, we're outperforming our real estate board by, 3-4%, which is good for you.
Yeah.
So that means we're able to negotiate more money and put more money in your pocket, which is what you want, right? When we list your home and sell it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our real estate boards average days on market, and that means how many days does it take to sell a property? So the average days on market are 43, even though I've already told you we're sitting at 4.5. Some properties sell sooner, some take longer. So put all that into a pot, and here we are. Average days on market for our real estate board are 43. Our team's average days on market to sell a property are 38. So again, we're outperforming the board and selling properties quicker and for more money. And that's what every seller wants, right?
100%. Yep.
So I'm just showing you our marketing outperforms the rest of the real estate board. We're able to get most properties sold quicker than average.
Yeah. That's really great. I love that.
Yeah. So here you do see on this screen, number one group in our real estate board and brokerage year to date for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
It's there, but honestly, I don't normally ever talk about we're number one, ever.
Right.
In fact, I don't really know why that's there.
And why is that? Why don't you talk about that, Terry?
So I'll get to that.
Okay.
But you're the seller, Jen.
Yeah.
Do you care?
No, not even a little bit.
Not even. What do you care about? What I can
care
do for you?
I care that you know what you're doing, that you're going to get me my money and you're going to get me the waterfront property I want. Yeah.
And, if they bring it up, I always say, well, you know what, Jen, anyone can say they're number one in anything. So it doesn't really matter. Right. So, okay, Jen, let's get to the price. the big
right.
bang that you've been waiting for. So I review the comparables, the actives, the solds, I come up with the sale price, value of their home that I think it should be. And I then say, okay, Jen, here's what I think your house is worth. So we have two numbers that I'm going to give you. Here's what I think your value is. And then, of course, what you listed at is the key to getting buyers to your property to be able to attain your home value. So I think your home is worth 950,000. We should probably list at 999,000 because, and we know from the average sale to list price about 94%. Then we want to make a buyer feel that they're going to negotiate and Jew you down and get the best deal. But really, the goal is to get that value for you in your pocket.
Right. And I know I've heard a lot about like multiple offers and listing it low and holding back. And why wouldn't we do that strategy? Would that not get me more money?
So Jen, great question for sure, because I know a lot of people right now are listening to what's going on in all the major city areas, right? You're hearing about competition and competing offers and bidding wars. And so selling a property in a bidding war and getting over list price are really two different things. So first of all, we got to look at the market, and the market here is not that of a bidding market or an going over list price market. It's a negotiating market. We're actually in a pretty much a buyer's market, sitting at, remember I showed you 4.5% of inventory. So, and to be honest, anybody can list a property way below market value, sell it over list price in any market and make the realtor themselves look good. You don't want that. It's leaving money or potentially leaving money on the table.
Okay.
Okay, so it's if you're priced right and there's multiple buyers, you will see competing buyers. However, we're not into a bidding war situation. Does that answer your question around that?
Yeah. So if I'm understanding you correctly, because of the amount of time it takes to sell the house, that's not the best strategy to use in this situation.
That's right. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's important. Yes.
Sorry, just to jump out of the thing for a sec, Tammy was just asking, in this section, are you writing down like what your dollar amount would be? Are you saying yes, I would list it as 950 and then 999 list price, or are you discussing it with them and I guess deciding collaboratively? Is that what you're asking, Tammy?
Yeah. So right now I've told them what I think it would be. And now now I would say, Jen, what do you want for your home? And shut up.
Well, I wasn't really sure what my home was worth. I was kind of hoping we'd be over the million mark, maybe $1.05 million, $1 million. That would be ideal. We would love a little extra money to, if we need to renovate or do anything like that. But I also understand, the market is the market, but ideally we want to sell for around $1 million or 1.1.
I actually anticipated perhaps you would say that, Jen. And so I'm going to cut in here. So sometimes I say to them, before I tell them what I think the value is, I'll say, Jen, what do you think your home is worth? Usually the sellers know, or they're pretty close. If they're not totally unrealistic and they're a big type D personality, they're going to tell you. But I'm going to kindly say, Jen, what do you think your home is worth? What do you want for your home? What are you hoping for? And she'll say, well, we were kind of hoping for 1.1. And then I'll say, okay, well, you know what? I don't think we're too far off. I think, the realistic of where the market is and with all of the numbers are showing us is around that 950, maybe $1 million. So, pricing it, now I go into the pricing talk.
Okay. So then you just go right into the comps to show them why you're at the 950 to $1 million.
That's right.
Okay.
And so now I'll go in and talk, asking price versus selling price, Jen. I just want to show you the risks of what can happen if we price it over where the market will bear. If you're priced too high, you'll simply lose buyers. And if you're priced too low, you will lose value. So we
Mhm.
have to see the common ground here in the middle, right? So we want to price it that it's a tickling point to get buyers to the property to elicit an offer for us to negotiate on. So
Okay.
that's the goal. If you overprice your property, here are the pitfalls, and this is so important to understand. Over time, that your house sitting on the market will just become stigmatized. It will
Mhm.
only attract lowball offers. That's not what we want, below market value. And this, you'll miss out on serious buyers buying now. They'll just go and buy something else, and you're just helping to sell your competing properties.
Right.
And then bottom line, you risk it not selling at all. So I will negotiate on your behalf, of course, to get you the best price and terms in the shortest amount of time. However, it needs to be priced in that right price point. Does that make sense to you, Jen?
Yeah, it does make sense, but if we wanted to try it for a little bit more, like you're saying, 950 to a mil, maybe, you know, would the buyer not just pay us the extra 50? Could we list it a little higher and see what happens?
So here's what I say when I always get that question, Jen. It's a
Yeah.
great question. Don't feel, that it's something that you shouldn't ask. Absolutely. Again, this is your property, right? It's your beautiful home. And of course, we want to get you the most amount of money. So if you're asking me to list at $50,000 over what the market is showing us is the value, potential market value,
Mhm.
you get to decide at the ultimate decision. Remember, I explained this is your property, you're the boss, you're in control. You get to decide what you are going to list your property at. I get to decide if I'm going to take it on and spend the money, because of course, Jen, I don't get paid until it sells. And I'm not, to be honest, I'm not in the business to take on overpriced properties to speculate, because that's high risk. And usually high risk in speculation costs a lot more money in the end. I'm not a stockbroker and I'm not a gambler, and I don't think you are either, correct?
Well, I play the slots from time to time, but that's about it.
Okay. So I'm not opposed to trying over the million at, say, $1,015,000.
Yeah, I'd like to obviously just try and see if we can pop that million. That's really would be ideal.
I understand.
Mhm.
And so if we don't see anything in the first 2 to 3 weeks,
Mhm.
if we don't get any showings, we absolutely will have to price adjust. Are you in agreement to do that now?
Yeah, of course. That's fine. I just want to try it.
Yeah, okay. So I'm just letting you know, Jen, if you had told me, no, I'm not selling unless it's 1.3, I would have to respectfully decline the listing, right?
Mm.
Because I know it's just going to cost too much money, too speculative. And for properties sit and not sell, it doesn't make me look good either. And I can't have that. I've worked too hard to build up our success and reputation. I'm sure you understand that.
Yeah, I get that. Absolutely.
Great. So I just wanted to show you some shout outs regarding our team. And, we've been featured in a lot of different areas. But again, the reason I show you this is because this TV show here, she is a client of ours. I've sold her, I don't know how many properties. She owns an investment property, a real estate investment trust company, a mortgage company. She sends me all her clients that want to buy investment property up here. We've sold her personally probably 10 properties, and
Wow.
her clients, I can't even begin. We've sold 2 big developments of theirs. So I don't show you this to boast and toot my own horn. Well, maybe a little bit, but I show this to you because this one client alone, and she has a TV show. So she invited us to go on her TV show.
Right.
Like, how amazing is that?
Yeah.
So
that's
we
very
got that
cool.
exposure. So in return, it's really also exposure for you being our seller. Isn't that
Right.
exciting? I just love it.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And lastly, Jen, I show you our team achievements. Again, not to boast, but to just simply show you we are known across Canada. And when we have other referring realtors that have a client to refer to our area, what do? Where do they go? They go looking for the top producers. So
Mhm.
you can feel rest assured that if it's not me, it's our brokerage. Remember, I showed you how we're, top for a lot of categories on the Toronto Real Estate Board. They go
Mhm.
looking for that. Am I going to trust, a client like Carmen to a brand new realtor? Absolutely. I can't, no way. It could hurt my business.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
So this is why I show this to you. Does that make sense?
it does. Yeah.
So here are some nice warm fuzzy testimonials that my clients have, given me and talked nice about me. So here's where I would give them my testimonials.
Mhm.
So before I get to that, so Jen,
Mhm.
at this point, do you have any questions?
No, I think you've covered everything really well, and thank you for taking the time to explain the process to me. I appreciate that. I really I think what I'm wondering now is just how much is this going to cost me?
Sure. The ultimate, how much, what's the commission?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jen, commission is 5% plus HST. And if another brokerage brings an offer acceptable to you, I will pay them 2.5% out of the 5% plus HST.
Okay.
Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, it sounds fair. I just, because we're doing a buy and a sell, is there a different package or a different option for that we could, because we're getting two deals right in one go.
Right. I understand that, Jen. So I just want to quickly review the importance of commission, and I understand we're going to find you that perfect property. So commission and doing discounting deals is not something that I do, because we are a full service brokerage and we are a full service team. So I think, would you agree I've shown you the value in everything that we do previously? And we have a marketing budget, and we spend money to market your property. We don't gamble on your largest asset by discounting our full service approach.
Right.
So the commission is paid to us for our knowledge, for our experience, and as importantly, the commission that you're paying, and you're hiring us and paying me to help move you through the transaction with the least amount of liability, and to help mitigate all of the liability. When I'm representing you, I have a fiduciary duty to you, and I'm taking on all that liability, just like a doctor or a lawyer. When you go to the specialist and you sign off a waiver of liability. Well,
Yeah.
we don't do that. We take all the liability. So with high risk liability comes high reward. So would you agree that if I'm helping you to get what you want, sell quickly, put enough money in your pocket, help mitigate, show you all of the steps right to get to the lawyer, to the closing table, then I deserve what I want, which is 5%.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get me over $1 million, you definitely deserve that 5%.
Great. So can I cut in? If she were to give me more pushback, I pull this slide out. Jen, I understand your concern. But I would go back to, Jen, what are the reasons behind where have I not shown you the value of 5%? And she might say, well, another realtor will do it. Okay, is another realtor doing everything right here that I just showed you? And Jen, let me break the commission and show you how the commission actually works between the brokerages. And, where is the money spent? Because I know it sounds like a lot of 5%, $50,000, I get you $1 million. That's a lot of money. It is, I get it. Let me show you how it's broken down. So I pull this slide out and I show it to them. So I explained to them that being a top producer, we get a better split. I have more money for marketing. The competition can't compete with me on that. And do I be a little bit cocky here? Absolutely, I do. A new realtor can't compete with our marketing budget. They don't have a full-time photographer to send back, you know, that all costs money. We are a full service team, full service brokerage. We're not a discount brokerage. So at the end of the day, between the brokerages and the splits and being a top producer, it leaves you with more money in your pocket. You want a top producer who has more money to spend on your marketing, on your listing. And then after all, the realtor pays all of their expenses, typically about 40%, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. What's really left for the realtor is out of this example is $31.50 left for the realtor's living expenses. So that's really how it's broken down. So the summary really, Jen, it's just important for you to understand to hire a top producer or a top producer team that has a smaller split for a larger marketing budget available. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I didn't realize you guys paid so much in taxes.
I know. There's no getting away from that either.
Apparently.
So basically the bottom line, Jen, is we are a team of top producing local realtors who live and work in our area. That's important because when buyers come from outside of the area, we're able to show them around and they love that. There's confidence there. So what that means for you is other realtors from across Canada look to find the top realtors to send to their clients to, and that's us. We are known across Canada. We show you our awards and credentials, not to boast, but to show the importance of a strong network. If you want a realtor who sees the true value of your property, and as an owner of a prestigious property, of course, you want to be represented by a realtor who can perform at extraordinary level. You have spent years, Jen, putting your pride, love, and joy into your home. And I know you expect that your realtor put the same effort into getting it sold. And I know you want a custom realtor who offers value, security, honesty, and a trust. And so that's where I come in.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you still see that?
I can. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think where I would go with it from here is to say, obviously, I love everything you have to offer, and maybe not the commission, but I can see the value in it. So we'll work with that. I did have a great meeting with Sally Realtor as well, and like, what are the next steps here? Like, can we take some time and talk about it and get back to you tomorrow?
So Jen, I came prepared to list your property today. Are there any reasons why you're not prepared to sign the authorize the agreement and we can move forward?
It's more just needing a minute to digest everything and process it. I don't like to make decisions right on the spot, and obviously got to figure out what to tell the other realtor as well. And she was lovely, and I just need to kind of figure that out in my brain, how that's all going to go. Okay, I understand. So Jen, if you want, I will speak with the other realtors and let them know if that's something that, I have done that many times. If it makes you uncomfortable, I'm happy to do it. And I'm sure they're good quality realtors. It's all part of the nature of the business. And I'm happy to, call them and let them know that I'll be taking on the listing of your property. So that being said, I came prepared to list your property today. Are you ready to move forward? So if we were to sign with you today, how does it work? Because obviously we're not going to put our house on the market today. So no, that's right. What is that? What's the, like, you're not putting up a listing sign as you leave, right? No. So we sign, I go through listing agreement, I explain all the documents, and we sign it to start into the future. Say we determine how long it's going to take, about 2 weeks. So we'll sign it up. We'll enter into what's called a buyer representation agreement, so I can start showing you those beautiful waterfront properties so that we can get going on that. And then we go through our checklists, provide you your checklists. We get the stager consult going. We got the photographer to book once we get everything done. If you need a tradesperson. So if you needed a little more time, then we could adjust the start date later. Gotcha. So again, I came prepared to list. Are you ready to list with me today? I can't come up with a reason not to, Terry. So I guess we're going to sign. I always do 3. Mm,
And if they're still sitting there like and feeling like I'm pressuring them, I just let them feel like that. That's okay. And then I
Yeah.
say, Jen, if I didn't ask for your business, I'm showing and proving to you, I know how to close a deal. I know how to negotiate. So by me asking you again, I came prepared to list your property today. Are you ready to list and move forward? I'm
Mhm.
showing you, I know what I'm doing.
mhm. Yeah, it's hard
And
to say
most of
no
the
to that.
time, they say yes. No, I need to discuss. I just feel like, okay, great, let's get together tomorrow. I will book another appointment before I leave at the very least.
Yeah. So if I pushed back more and said, no, I still like, we need to talk it over, you would have just
What do you
got on
need
the
to talk
calendar.
about? What do you need to talk about? What have I not shown you?
Mm,
Jen, I would be honored to be your realtor of choice. Have I not shown you how I have earned that?
yeah, you
Am I
have.
missing anything? And notice how I'm not afraid to ask you that, Jen?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I can't say no to you, Terry. I want to, but I can't. Nice. I get
Okay,
it. Yeah.
that's it.
Beautiful. I love that. So here's what we're gonna do. I have a couple of questions that got asked in the chat, so I'm just gonna throw those out to you really quick.
Okay.
And then if you're open to it, Terry, can we open it up to the people on the call either asking you how you'd handle a certain objection if you were to receive it, or any
Yes.
questions they might have about your presentation. But before we get to that, just really quickly, Christian had just asked earlier, the page where you send the have the stats and their update, their weekly update that becomes monthly. We know we covered that you email it out to them, and then if you need to meet, you meet and you discuss everything. The stats you're pulling would be from Realm and for Trub or from your websites. Is there particular places you're pulling those stats from?
So we give them a snapshot of what the market is like monthly, because we could pull that from our real estate board. So they get that once a month. Every week they get, if it's a weekly listing review, they get they get an example of their Facebook ads. Hold on a second.
Mhm.
Going there. Their Facebook ads, their Instagram ads, their YouTube ads, and they see how many leads come in. We show them that. And then we show them what properties have sold in their area and their price point, and what new listings have come on the property in the area and
Okay.
at their price point, if any. Does that
Yeah.
answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. Christian, are you good with that? You can unmute yourself if you're still here, by the way, if that answers your question. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
The other question Tammy had asked was at the CMA portion, you have your package with you, you show them the comps and you go through the actual listings and
Yes.
obviously we skimmed over it, but you
Yes,
walk them through that. Yeah.
absolutely. So I show them sold comps, active comps, and we look and talk about each property.
Mhm.
And then I ask them, where do you feel your property, where your property fits in there with all of that? And they'll usually pick between, well, I think we probably are between this one and this one. Okay,
Mhm.
great. So that basically tells me what they're thinking their value is too.
Yeah, it kind of highlights it for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
do you include as like full staging as part of your package or a consult or
No,
none at all?
we don't, so our area is different than your area. Our price point is, our average sale price is much lower.
Yeah.
We offer a stage consult if need be. Like if it's a property in the 300, 400, 500 range, it's, unless there's a lot of inventory and it's really competitive, then they get basically a staging consult that's no more than $200. We don't
Okay.
have staging companies here. So we don't have a warehouse that we can go pull furniture from to do staging. And
That's so
I
wild. Yeah.
should have threw in there, in my presentation, I always say to the seller, Jen, we offer a stage consult. I know you might talk to other realtors and they're gonna do it for you. But you know what, Jen, I'm a negotiator.
Mhm.
I don't take pictures and I don't fluff pillows.
Mhm.
We're gonna give you that. We're gonna hire the professionals for you to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And I know we had a more extended like conversation because we were talking through some of the details in each section of your presentation, but on average, how long does your presentation traditionally take you?
2
2
hours. If
Okay.
you're not doing a presentation, that's 2 hours, you're not doing a good enough job.
Yeah. Okay. I love it. I'm going to open up the floor to everyone on the call. Guys, put up your hand if you want to ask a question, or if you want to throw an
Yeah, or
objection at
comment, what did you
Terri,
think?
or a comment. What did you think? Any takeaways? What did you like? What did you not like? It's very difficult to go from a realtor. I kept thinking of real estate questions, like realtor questions. So
I know.
if I didn't ask stuff that you might have asked or had brought up objections you've heard or want to hear, like now's your time to fire away at Terri. We got about 30 minutes left. So just throw up your hand, or take yourself off mute if you want to
And
go, or
remember-
write it in the chat.
Remember, you're touring the property first, so that would take up a good 15 or 20 minutes to half hour. So your actual presentation should better be an hour and a half to hour 45 minutes anyways.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Tammy, go ahead. You can unmute yourself and ask away. Tammy's got a question for you, Terri.
That was amazing, Terri. Thank you so much for taking
You're
the time
welcome.
to do that. You're phenomenal. Lots of
Thank
great
you.
pointers
No
here. I think got
problem.
like 3, 4, 5 pages here. I wanted to ask you, so what do you leave them with? Do you leave them with the material, the CMA? What paperwork are you?
Really,
leaving
really
them with?
good question. I will leave them with everything but the CMA. I will not leave the CMA.
Why
So
is that,
you-
Terri?
I will leave them their comparables, but I won't leave what I've told them the value is. And well, I shouldn't say that. It depends if they've met with all the other realtors, and I know I am the last one in, then I will, but if they have not met with the other realtors, I'm not leaving that for another realtor to see or find. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I'm very protective of that.
Yeah. Fair. Okay.
The rest, they can copy all they want. They have to do what I'm doing. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well,
That's
they still have
see,
to-
it's confidence too, right?
They still have to execute it the way you execute it, right? So you can give them the
Yeah.
content all day long, but that doesn't mean that they can present it the way you're presenting it. So it's not going to matter. They're still not going to compete with you, right?
Well, you know what? And I know a lot of you might be sitting there, well, I'm not a team and you're a big team. And okay, but you know what? I wasn't a team from the very beginning. I had to be a very successful individual. You can retweak all of that and use all of the same information for you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
instead of say team, you say our brokerage. If you don't have a team, you do have a team at your brokerage. You have the ability to have administrative, like you can send your paperwork to head office to put into command. So that's your admin, right? Like you have a call center, you have secretaries, so to speak, at head office. So, it's just how you present it, and the perception is everything.
Yeah. So another question. Sorry, Tammy, go ahead. I didn't mean to.
It's okay. Sorry. Are you sending them anything before you meet with them?
No, I don't do that. I used to, but again, the geographic and email and all that, I don't want them to misunderstand the information in the email. It might be a good idea. It's just something I've never done.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, I got a couple more for you. Ritu is asking if you can go back to when you first got started as a realtor. What were your biggest struggles when you first got into the business, and like how did you navigate them?
So my biggest struggle was, where am I going to find business? I'm new. Who's going to trust that I know this real estate business? And so for me, it was no one showed or taught me how to lead generate. When I came to Keller Williams, I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of figured it out, but it took me how many years to figure it out? So lead gen right from the get-go, I stayed, it was difficult, but I made myself go out every single day with 20 cards in my pocket, and I was not allowed to come home. I'd say, self, you're not allowed to come home till I give out 20 cards and have 20 conversations every day. And that's exactly what I did. And so if I had no listings, I went to all the top producers and I asked if I could do open houses. I did open house every single weekend on all the top producers. And the owner of our company, when she was doing an open house, and she was older, probably in her 60s, and she was also like, her papers were everywhere all the time. So I offered to be her gopher. So I drove her to her open houses. I set them up. She let me stay there with her so I could see how she ran an open house.
Right.
And people loved her and they came from all over the world just to see her at an
Yeah.
open house. And then, you know, she liked chocolate bars. So I buy her chocolate bars that bring it into her office all the time, just so I could sit and talk to her and gain information from her. And then, you know, and then she got it to a point where she had a knee problem, and we're doing an open house at a waterfront property. And she's like, oh, I can't go down to the water. You go take those buyers down there, dear, and you can have them. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did stuff like that.
Yeah. So you created opportunity is really what you're saying by doing the work and talking to people.
If you look for it, you'll find it.
Yeah. I love that. And I love it. The open houses. I shared with you too. I did open houses as much as possible when I was getting started and built my business that way. And I loved it. It was the easiest way, I thought, to do it. And you know, now that we've got even more advanced systems and digital marketing and social media, you can even make that so much bigger than what we would have been able to do when we were getting started. Right. So,
Oh, my word. Yes.
yeah. Okay, I got some stuff rolling into the chat now, so I'm just gonna throw it at you. Dina actually shared that she's done listing presentations before where the sellers have actually shown her the other realtors stuff, like given it to her.
I
and said,
love
"Hey,"
it.
right?
Yeah.
So it goes back
Yeah.
to what you're saying. Don't leave that stuff, because the sellers don't necessarily value it the way that we do, right?
Yes.
Caesar has an objection for you.
Sure.
The other realtor I am interviewing offers everything you have mentioned at a better rate. What sets you aside besides your experience, strong marketing, and your deals or your sales volume?
So I would talk about our sales volume. I would go hard and deep and confident, Caesar, and say, okay, has the other realtor sold, you know, 400 to 500 homes a year? How much experience? Like, I would start to more analytics. Okay, talk to me about why are you telling me you're seeing more value in that other realtor? And if so, what is that? What's that value he's seeing, you're seeing in the other realtor that you don't see in me? And then I can speak to it.
Right.
But really, Jen, what is it that you're looking for in your realtor? Are you just looking for a discount?
Well, just so they're doing the same things as you, really, but they're doing it for half a point less. So I'm going to save money.
So I would bring back out the commission chart and go over it again.
Okay.
And then, you know, at the end of the day, you have to decide if you're going to cave in and do it. Sometimes I'm tired. I don't care. I don't care. Sign right now. Sign right now. Well, okay, fine. I try not to do that because I got to stay sharp. I got to stay on my game. I got to be the rainmaker, right? So,
yeah. So you really, if they push back, you just hold to your stats and your numbers and the number one and basically
right.
like
Yeah,
what value are they?
Yeah, at that point, I will hammer down and say, you know, what is it that, you know, Jen, that 0.5% has to come from somewhere. He's not doing it just because he's nice. Either he's hungry for money, and I say it just like that. Either he's hungry or she's hungry for money. It's got to come from somewhere. So they're going to pressure you just to take the first offer and not, you know, I have negotiating ability. I can show that to you. I know how to analyze, even in competing offers, what one is going to be the best offer for you. Right? Can he show you that? Where have I not shown you the same amount of value or more value? Where is that I've missed that? Right.
Okay. Nice.
And they think about it and they go, well, he's just going to do it for more.
Yeah.
Okay. So then where in all of this shall I cut something out for that 0.5%?
Yeah. What do you want me to remove?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever go back through your value prop, like what your value proposition is, or your, like, to kind of tackle that objection? Or you just stick with stats?
Yeah, I stick with stats.
Okay, nice.
That's a good idea. I actually thought about adding that in because in a market where we are, sorry, in the market where you are, I understand getting a listing is very competitive right now.
Mhm,
So you should throw that in and add it in, I should say.
mhm.
It will help, I think, for sure. But at the end of the day, you know, I would show it to them, and at the end of the day, I said, look, Jen, I know it's all about money in the bank. You can't put thanks in the bank. I get it. But again, I will ask you, where have I not shown you the 5-star service to get you the most amount of money?
Right.
Or you think I'm just blowing smoke?
Fair enough. Yeah, I love that. So you
Caesar,
just
does that help?
yeah. Caesar, did that answer your question?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just being honest. I was in that situation a few weeks ago where like anything you could explain, it wouldn't be enough for them, right? So you get this type of clients that they always pull back, especially, you know, if they're doing like 2 or 3 deals at once. And I just feel like you need something really strong, like something very measurable that sets you apart from the other ones, and that's what I'm trying to get here.
So you're not showing you. So whenever somebody brings in commission, in my opinion, I haven't shown them enough value. I need to go back to my slides and add in, where are they not seeing the value in the commission and everything that I've shown them? Again, remember, commission is about experience, knowledge, and liability. Do you want to gamble 0.5% on a realtor who doesn't know how to negotiate? I don't know if they do or not. Do you want to gamble? That's high risk. Are you a speculator? I didn't realize that about you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm. Nice. Thank you.
It's
Terri.
really for like having the confidence to think of those things to say. And if you don't write it down and take it with you, pull it out when you need to. That's what I always did. The commission thing, I don't automatically go to that commission breakdown. If I need to, I pull it out.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Rosie, you had your hand up. Do you want to ask a question or throw out an objection there?
Sorry, I had my hand up, but I thought about it a little bit. I wanted to hear about the. Can you hear me? I'm driving. Just want to.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear
Okay.
you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, I wanted to hear about the objection from a new realtor's perspective. Just because not all of us have the the amount of experience and stuff. So I wanted to hear that same objection being dealt with from a new realtor perspective. You're asking for 5%, but you don't have the amount of experience as this top realtor does. How can you justify that amount?
So I would, and in my first year, I did more than 6 figures back in 2006. And I always acted confidently as if I already had the business, number one. Number two, I spoke in terms of and leaned on and piggybacked off of my brokerage. So for example, you know what, Jen? I've been in the business for a year. And I want to let you know that I'm with the top brokerage on the Toronto Real Estate Board. I would talk about the Keller Williams stats. So I want you to be rest assured that I have enough time to give you quality time and consultation, and you'll hear from me and see from me. No, I'm not a big team, but I have time. And I will work eager and harder than the average to represent you and to earn your business so that you'll talk good things about me and tell other people how great I did for you. Do you see the difference? So I would say, my brokerage has hundreds of years experience, and I have a team of top producers at any given moment that I may consult with if need be, which is all the truth with Keller Williams.
Mhm.
So you piggyback off your brokerage and the success of your brokerage. You know what? We have a top producing team that's number 4 across Canada. That's how strong of a brokerage and team we are. You have a team, it's your brokerage.
Yeah, love that.
Does that help?
Does that answer your question, Rosie?
Or we lost her?
Yeah, I think she's driving.
No,
Oh, there
yeah,
she
it
is.
did.
Okay,
It did.
yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes, I was trying to unmute. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, I have another question here from you. Terry is from Bridge. He's asking what he or she, sorry, I don't actually know, using what you use for lead generation, what your thoughts are on geo farming. Do you do it as a team, and how would you select the area?
We do farming. I started out farming. Probably I didn't understand it in my first year. And in my second year, I started to figure out and learn how to farm. And so I started out with 100 homes in an area that I thought was a price point that would sell. And then I moved up to 500, and then 1,000, and 2,500, and then 5,000. And now we pretty much, at any given time, well, usually quarterly, we farm our area around 25,000.
Mhm.
And so we do that via flyer quarterly. We send out 25,000 flyers, etc. And it's very important. So not only that, that's also where our community events come in. We farm our area also with community events. We're very big on that. Like we have a big event that we do on Family Day. And we just started that 3 years ago. And we started it because we had just come out of COVID. And we have a client who is the director of a nonprofit organization called the Outdoor Education Center, where the kids go there in our area to learn about outdoor education. So we thought, well, it'd be great. Let's have a family day, put a bunch of events together and have it there because we can all be outside. It was so well attended. I think there were 700 families came. We had probably, I don't know, 10 events. Like we taught kids how to build a igloo, a snow house. And we taught them how to make fire. We taught them how to make a maple syrup from snow in the snow. And we had music playing. We had a jumpy castle. And so that is part of doing those events is farming your area. So I learned that very quickly. So that's why we still do a lot of events. Like right now, we have coming up a baby drive at the Foodland. Foodland owners are my clients. So of course we go to them and say, and so that's why I put that in the presentation to let the sellers know that, Jen, we have, big box store referral partners. She sends us clients. I even went to her and said, those little triangle things you put on that to separate your groceries when there's 2 of you at the line out.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, if we buy them and supply them, we use them, and it has a Terri Hastings group all on them. And she's like, sure, no problem. So that's in the grocery store.
Yeah.
So there's that. So we do a lot of event farming for sure. And those events aren't a lot of money. Like that first event where it was 700 people. We had so many people coming up and thanking us, and we didn't spend maybe $700. So, that is exposure in your farming area, maybe not a tangible ROI that I can touch right now, but it is there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it sounds like too, a lot of you leverage your database and do a lot of networking, right? And I know talking with Adam quite a bit, he's big on networking as well. Adam's one of the top agents on your teams, if not the top agent aside from you, I believe. and I know he does a ton of network. So you guys do a lot of network and community and kind of promotion of your brand as opposed to maybe like a specific cold call or door knock or anything like that, right?
Right. So, I mean, we don't have the population to bother doing door knocking. I can door knock, I used to,
Mhm.
my first couple of years, but really, I mean, you could door knock all of Wyerton in 1 week. And then what are you going to do the next week?
Start over. Yeah.
And then, so once we get out of Wyerton and we're going further north to Tobermory, there are no residential areas. I mean, it's all, and in the winter, they're all gone. So,
Yeah, right.
so,
Yeah.
and really, you know, I don't want to take door knocking away from anyone that is in a more populated area. It's just that is antiquated for us in our geographical area. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, nice. And so Tammy, you asked the question, do you give them a seller's guide as well at the consultation? So do you have
Sometimes.
yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
We do have I don't have one handy. We do have a printed one. It's a nice glossy book.
Mhm.
And it's, I don't leave it at all of them because too much information is too overwhelming unless they're detailed.
Mhm.
And I give them all of that and more.
So you gauge it on the personality, like if you feel like it's gonna overwhelm them or they, didn't fit what you wanted, or that you just don't want to distract them, you wouldn't leave it.
No, the
Yeah.
seller guide I would.
The seller guide
It's
you
totally
yeah.
different. It doesn't talk about us. It's really just a seller information. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Okay.
really just basic stuff, right?
Yeah.
When we list a property, then we give checklists and things like that to the seller, and that's kind of what's in there. So,
Gotcha. Okay. And Tammy, you said you have an objection for Terry. Oh, I just gotta put her puppy down. One sec.
So it's great that you can get them to sign the agreement 2 weeks out, right? Because a lot of people, aren't comfortable with that, especially if they haven't found a place to purchase yet. So what else can you say to them that can get them to sign that day, but for future? Like how else do you get, how do you close them on that?
I would say, Jen, this is just you committing to me that we're going to move forward. That's all. If the timing needs to be changed, it's a simple initial and we change it. I'm just trying to get them to commit to authorize an agreement now that, like it takes time to prepare. We gotta do a full production on your home. Like how it's exciting. I know, but it's a lot of work. So no, that sign isn't going to go in the ground until it's like perfect. Does that make you feel more comfortable?
Yeah.
Is what I would say to them, right?
Yeah.
And they usually back down.
That's such a simple line, but it's so disarming. I love that. I think it's one of my favorite things you've said. I'm glad you asked that, Tammy.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Adam and I, so like I still go with their team members on different listing appointments. So Adam, I was away in Dallas and I got a call for a waterfront property. So I asked Adam if he would go. I asked the client, is it okay if my business partner comes? Like, you're going to get me, don't worry. And so Adam went to look at the property. We booked a second appointment for us to go up and two appointment process just because I was away, which is fine. So Adam called me and it was Sunday of the long weekend and we were supposed to go. And he said, oh, the client just called and he said they just hold off. They need a couple of weeks to get ready and think about things. And we hadn't even done a presentation. And he said, well, I'm not sure how booked you are. And I'm like, well, I'm already booked to go to the appointment. We're going. So we went there, did our presentation. I looked around the property because I hadn't seen it. And so we did everything, talked price, gave them the value, showed the comparables. We did everything. And I said, well, I came prepared to list your property today. It can be started in the future. I said, this way you can get moving and get things rolling and, start to book things and, get some pre-marketing going for you. There's pre-marketing hype, And he said, yeah, that's a really good idea. Let's do that. So we're 3 weeks out on that one. And we had another one 2 weeks ago of $1.3 million property, same thing. So we signed it up for a month out. And they needed a couple extra days. So we just changed the list start date and it works really well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's smart. That's really smart. Okay, we got about 3 minutes left and I don't want to take any more of Terry's time. She's been so generous with it. Does anybody have a final question, final objection, anything you want clarified before we all head back to our days?
And most importantly, was this of value to you? Leave your comments to below or send them to Jen. Don't send them to me if they're negative. Okay.
It's like I can't handle that.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, yeah. British said yes, it was valuable and they appreciate it.
Good, awesome.
Christine said love it. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Tammy said thank you. So informative. Thank you so much. Great value. Thank you for your time. Amazing value. Thank you. So yes. And Tammy, thank you. I'm Terry. Sorry. Thank you. I know that I knew it was going to be great. I so appreciate you giving your time to do this and to share what you do and how you do it.
We're happy to share. That's why we joined Keller Williams, because of our culture.
Yes.
Because no one would share with me back in the day.
That's the challenge, is getting people to share, right?
Oh,
And
no, which jeepers. It's like,
yeah,
I get it. I get it.
yeah. And we
There's
share
enough business. Here's what I tell everybody. Don't worry about being competitive like that. There's enough business for everybody. You couldn't possibly handle all of your competitors' business. So stop thinking like that
I
and
love
share it
that.
up, offer it up.
Yeah. And I've shared with you before, Terry, that even with coaching, it's the listing piece, the presentation, and either shadowing somebody or having someone role play. It's the hardest piece to get someone to do. And we try all the time to get it. And our agents are always asking for it. So to be able to have you just go right through your presentation like this was fantastic, and
No
really,
problem.
really happy. And Mike Volpe and Riley Alcorn are going to be doing the same thing next month.
Yay.
So I'm really
excited to
happy
see
that
theirs.
they're going to do that for us as well. Same format. But we're going to run through their presentation and what they do, so you can see variations, and you guys will learn that they're all relatively similar, but the presentation and the delivery is what's going to be different. And, you know, obviously there'll be nuggets and value adds that these guys will have, because they just have such a higher volume of listings that they've worked through all of those things that we maybe haven't experienced yet. So put in your calendar, it's going to be June 22nd. And there is a copy of the video, Tammy. Yes, we did record this session. So for those of you that attended, you will be getting a recording. You'll also be getting a copy of Terry's listing presentation that she shared with us. And Terry, they are asking if we could get the checklist that you use. Can we get those shared with us as
The
well?
listing review?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Terry, thank you. I appreciate
Welcome.
everything.
Go enjoy the sun, everybody. I'm gonna
And
go
the
on my
database.
boat.
Yeah. Well, guys, everything we talked about today, Terry and I will get together and we'll get it sent to everybody. Okay. So thank you so much. Yeah, enjoy the sunshine, and we will see you all soon. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.